And what's up, guys? We're back for another week of breakdowns, and this is UFC Paris. Imavov versus Borralho in the main event, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I really like this card, man. I think it's a great card matchup-wise. I think there's a lot of great fights throughout the card, so really excited to break it down. So right before we get started, guys, hit the like button, put a comment down below if you want access to the few bets that I already have for this card and bets for other promotions that are going to be going on this weekend. You know where to go, patreon.com/MMAPredictionGuru. Really appreciate everyone that goes over there. It helps support the channel, keep the channel going as well. And, yeah, man, besides that, let's get into it. First fight of the night, Shauna Bannon. She's going to be taking on Sam Hughes. And Sam Hughes, she came into the UFC short notice against Tisha Torres, huge underdog, and then lost her first three fights and kind of was looked at as a builder for a lot of these up-and-coming girls more recently, but she's been able to keep pulling off these upsets, and now she's in a position where she can get on a three-fight winning streak herself and put her name up there. So it looks like the UFC's finally getting behind Sam Hughes a little bit. They're giving her a more favorable matchup where she's actually a pretty significant favorite. I believe she's like a 5-1 favorite in this fight, which is a little wild to see Sam Hughes at that price. But Shauna Bannon is going to be her opponent, who is coming off her first UFC win, or I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if she won a, maybe she has a couple UFC wins, but regardless, she's kind of underperformed in the UFC. She had that fight with Pooja Tumar that was really competitive, and then she had I guess she has another win, because she did beat Outerlean as well. But regardless, you look at Shauna Bannon. I mean, her last fight, she was spamming that lead leg sidekick the whole time, and she brings that karate taekwondo style on the feet where she's throwing a lot of kicks. She needs space to blitz in, but if you just pressure her, close that gap, she doesn't really throw a lot, and her boxing is not good. And then her grappling, she has a decent armbar. That's the only thing that I'm kind of worried about for Sam Hughes in this fight, but her wrestling is just not really shown to be the greatest in the UFC, and then she doesn't have that bite down on the mouthpiece kind of toughness, and sometimes just optically she can look bad for the judges, whereas Sam Hughes is the complete opposite type of fighter, where she's a big fighter for the weight class, which helps her because she's a long reach, but she comes forward, she pressures, she wants to be aggressive, get in your face, kind of rough you up, make it an ugly fight. She has good cardio. She's not really great at anything, but she can use her hands. She can throw some kicks out there. She could take you down. She could push you against the fence. She comes in great shape. So if this fight goes to decision, Hughes is going to dominate. I feel like she's going to win the minute. She's going to be the more active fighter. She's going to get shot on the back foot, shut down the kick. She's going to put her in the cage against a clinch. She's probably going to put her on her back. But if she loses, I think it'll be an armbar from guard type of scenario. Hopefully, more and more we evolve in women's MMA. That's not going to be a thing anymore. But, yeah, man, Sam Hughes avoids that armbar. I think she's going to get the job done in pretty dominant fashion in the first fight of the night. But second fight, we got Andreas Gustafsson. He's going to be taking on Hinat Fakhretdinov. A lot more high-level fight in this matchup here. Great fight. Andreas Gustafsson, he had his debut in the UFC against Chaos Williams, and he did great, man. He was the underdog, pretty much dominated the entire fight. He didn't let Chaos have a second to breathe. He just got right in his face. Whenever you have a Gustafsson fight, there's no feeling out process, and he's just looking to close that distance, put that Greco on you, put you against the fence, wear you out by making you pummel, and just kneeing you, elbowing you, hitting you off the break, then re-clinching, and just making your life a living hell. And his wrestling isn't elite, but once you start to get tired and you're one away out of there, you just start to make mistakes. That's when he can muscle you to the mat, Gustafsson, and when he gets on top, he can look for finishes. He has finishing ability in close with short shots, especially with the knees, and he has the ability to go the full 15 minutes and not slow down whatsoever. So the guy is difficult to deal with, because if you want to go in there and try to knock him out, I mean, good luck. It's going to be hard to catch him with a major shot off the back foot, especially when he's always just pressing forward right into you. He is very hittable, so someone like Hinat Fakhretdinov, I think, has a decent chance to catch him early, just because he will be willing to sit down in the pocket and exchange with Gustafsson, and he will be willing to, crack back with a pull counter, and maybe he can land a big power shot on Gustafsson. I mean, you've seen Fakhretdinov knock a lot of guys out in the past, but with that style, if you can't get Gustafsson out of there early and you're planting your feet, you're sitting there trying to wing power at him, you better have the cardio to do that for 15 minutes, because Gustafsson is just going to be on you the entire time. And the one thing with Hinat Fakhretdinov is he goes in, and a lot of his early fights in the UFC, he showed off which was his main base and what people talk about him the most, and that's his wrestling. He got guys down to the mat, especially his Brian Battle fight. That was impressive. He took him down and smothered him for basically 15 minutes. But his last few fights, his last couple fights especially, I guess his last three, the Dalby fight, the most recent fight with Carlos Leal, and then he had another fight in between there. He really struggled to get takedowns and hold guys down, and it was more him having to fight on the feet. And then Nick Dalby and Carlos Leal had a lot of success clinching and controlling Hinat against the fence. So I actually think that he's going to have to strike in this fight. And you look at Hinat Fakhretdinov, the guy has a nice right hand. He has a good ability to find it off the back foot too. And he's going to have a chance to pull counter and snipe Gustafsson. And then I think he has to try to wrestle first. I know I said that he has to believe in his striking a little bit, but if he can't get Gustafsson out of there with some heat in the first couple of minutes, I think he has to put Gustafsson on his back. He can't be moving backwards perpetually and let Gustafsson start to initiate the wrestling offensively and clinch him, because he will get tired. He has to probably get Gustafsson on his back and hold him down a little bit to be able to maintain his gas tank for 15 minutes to win a decision. And that's just what I'm not sold on him being able to do. I feel like he could start fast. Maybe he rocks Gustafsson, but I think that Gustafsson will weather that storm. I think we're going to see Fakhretdinov slow down once again, but Gustafsson is going to be more active in the clinch and just pressing him than a Dalby, than a Alizio Zaleski, than a Carlos Leal. And all three of those fights, you could argue that he not lost, and he kind of got lucky to not have a loss in any of those matches. So this time, I think Andreas Gustafsson is going to hand him that L. And continuing on through the card, we got Brad Tavares taking on Robert Brychik in this next fight. Total pass fight to me. I understand maybe having the trust in Brad, but at this point in his career, betting Brad Tavares as a favorite, I mean, I'd rather have my money in somewhere else. I feel like this guy is still really good. You know what you're going to get out of him. He's going to bring that really solid kickboxing game, good leg kicks, good jab, good 1-2s, solid tight high guard, good pressure, and he's going to be able to go for 15 minutes. His takedown defense is going to be there. But Tavares' chin is very suspect, and a lot of his fights are extremely competitive. So I think that Brychik, this guy, he had his debut against someone that's not really very good, and he got dominated, so that wasn't a great performance. And then he took a long layoff after that fight. So he's coming in here without really a lot of momentum, but he has good boxing, and he has a really nice straight shots down the middle, and he's going to have a chance early to put the pressure on Brad Tavares and find that knockout. If you look at his career, his last 6-7 victories are all first-round KOs, so he's going to have a chance to put that pressure on Brad, find the chin early. But I think if he can't do it and Brad is able to survive the early going, he's going to chop the legs, he's going to be the more sharp striker, and he's going to probably find his rhythm and kind of just dominate the fight en route to a decision. So I'm going to go with Brad just by, using his veteran savvy to win the stand-up. But I do think it's a dog or pass situation, kind of a pass for me. But I think Brychik could get the first-round knockout, but the pick for me is going to be Tavares' decision. Next fight we got on the card, Sam Patterson versus Trey Waters. Going to have a bit of a hot take on this one because I'm going to go with Trey Waters here. Maybe I'm just continually doubting Sam Patterson because I haven't been the highest on him. But I just feel like Trey Waters, his takedown defense is a little underrated. I'm seeing people saying that he's going to be an easy takedown. I don't really see that. I don't think he's going to overextend or give Patterson a chance to take him down with the easy body lock. And Patterson is an explosive guy where I think he's going to be able to shoot it on the legs or close the distance explosively and get Waters down. So he's going to have to rely on either standing up with him like he did Danny Barlow, which Barlow, I think, just got too over aggressive. I think he didn't respect Patterson on the feet, and he got made to pay for it. And now that Waters has seen that Patterson could crack and he at least has some skill in the stand-up, I don't think that Waters is going to make that same mistake. And I just don't like Sam Patterson's stance, man. I feel like he's there to be hit. I think Waters puts nice combinations together. He's a fellow long man like Sam Patterson, and I think he could find the chin. But if Trey Waters does end up on bottom, he is going to be at a huge discrepancy. We saw in the Bonfim fight with him when he got put on his back, he got finished pretty quickly thereafter. But with Billy Ray Goff, he was able to get back up to his feet multiple times after getting taken down. He showed that he could win a dogfight. And I just think that even with the layoff and with some concerns, I'm going to roll with the underdog, and I'm going to go with Trey Waters actually to get a knockout in that fight. And next fight we got on the card, we got Harry Hardwick taking this matchup on really short notice, taking on Caio Fernandez. And one of the Hardwick brothers is finally in the UFC. I feel like these guys have been kind of circling the UFC for a while now. George Hardwick actually got to fight on Contender Series, and he ended up losing. And both these guys, George and Harry, the two brothers, were Cage Warriors champions. Harry is the current Cage Warriors champion right now. And now he's in the UFC, and he's going to be taking on Caio Fernandez, who has looked pretty impressive in his performances. He lost to Jacasey, but he's been unbeaten in the UFC since. And he has good stand-up, and he has pretty decent grappling skills. So I feel like the guy's dangerous. And with the Hardwicks, Harry Hardwick, he has good pressure. He's going to be able to box. If you stay in the pocket with him, he's really good at picking and pulling, finding his shots, going to the body, going to the head, extending the combinations, maybe even throwing a big knee up the middle, and just being high volume and kind of being able to dog you out with technicality and skill. And then they have good takedown defense. They kind of pressure you into bad takedowns, and they could clinch you and knee you a little bit, maybe even put you on your back. And Harry is just good at just kind of winning the minutes with the pressure, making you make mistakes, then kind of taking advantage of it and being able to stay solid for the entire 15 minutes or 25 minutes. But nothing spectacular. He struggles a little bit with movers. If you're not standing in front of him, staying in boxing range, you're kicking him, you're moving on the outside, you're pulling him into power, you can land on him. I have seen him get rocked as well. He's never been knocked out. He's a tough, durable guy, but I've seen him get dropped in the first round a few fights. And I think that Fernandez, with his dynamic striking, being able to move around, Fernandez could switch stance. He's someone that has really nice kicks. He could throw kicks to all parts of the body. He's super dynamic. And then he throws real nice straight punches down the pipe. He'll go body, he'll go head, very fast. He moves around laterally and pulls you into strikes. I think his striking style is very difficult for Hardwick. And as far as the grappling goes with both these guys, I don't really know who has the edge there. I feel like they're both kind of serviceable grapplers that like to strike and will mix it up if they have to. So they're kind of similar in that regard. So I don't know exactly if someone has the advantage there. So going off the stand-up, I just think Fernandez is more dynamic and skilled. And I think he's going to have the bigger moments. I think he has the chance to get the knockout in the first round as well. Even though Hardwick has never been KO'd, I think Fernandez has an opportunity to be the first man to do it, especially with the short notice nature for Hardwick. So Fernandez is the prediction for me in this fight. And next fight we got on the card, we got a rematch with Marcin Tybura and Ante Delija. And Ante Delija, this guy is a PFL champion. He's someone that has a really good record. He's about as experienced as it gets for a fighter making their UFC debut. And him and Tybura actually fought almost 10 years ago. It might have even been 10 years ago, but Delija broke his leg in the fight. We really didn't get to see much, so now he's getting his chance to get revenge here against Tybura. First fight in the UFC, and if you could beat Tybura, you're a top 10 fighter in the heavyweight division. So they're trying to give Delija, the springboard right to the top 10 right away. I mean, the guy's already 35. He has a ton of fights. There's no reason to try to build him up. It's either sink or swim. If you could beat Tybura, hey, maybe we'll put you in a big fight. If you can't, then we kind of know where you stand in the division. And D'Elia, it's hard to exactly know where he's at in his career at the moment because he hasn't fought that often recently. He's had one fight that lasted like 45 seconds. He fought Jorgen De Castro, finished him really quick. Before that, he fought Moldovsky. He got hurt in the middle of the fight and did nothing, got finished in the first round. He had a really bad performance as well in another fight that he was able to get the victory in, but I just thought he looked really stiff recently. So I feel like he's looking kind of washed lately. And you look at Tybura, I mean, he's not looking the greatest either. But, I mean, I don't got a lot to say about this fight, man, honestly. I just think Tybura with the experience, being able to push D'Elia against the cage, and I think that he's just going to be the more active guy throughout. D'Elia has good combinations with the hands, but he has a lot of periods of inactivity, and I think if Tybura could just press him and not let D'Elia get those explosions off by just consistently staying in his face, pressuring him, he probably can get this victory. Both these guys have suspect chins. It's just not a great fight in my opinion, but I'm leaning with Marcin Tybura in that match. And the next fight we got on the card, Umar Sy is taking on Brenson Ribeiro. And Umar Sy, he's trying to bounce back here. Obviously, he's getting a fight in France. But he lost his last fight, which was the first loss of his career against Alonzo Menefield. Kind of got exposed a little bit. He couldn't take Menefield down. Looked super stiff and sloppy on the feet. Really, really green. And his stand-up needs to improve significantly if he's going to be fighting the upper echelon of the weight class. But he's still a physical specimen. He's 6'4" with an 83-inch reach and very athletic guy, so he has a lot of potential in this weight division. He's going to be fighting someone that could almost match him, though, in height and reach with the 6'3", 81-inch reach of Brenton Ribeiro. And Ribeiro's coming in here off of a knockout loss only about 3.5 months ago against Mirzakhanov, where he jumped in on short notice, and it was a big mismatch there, and he kind of just got taken out. Before that, he was on a 2-fight win streak. He had a nice upset victory with the Kimura win. And, I mean, you look at Brenton Ribeiro on the feet, he basically is just a 1-2 merchant. He has long arms, and he relies on that to kind of pull back and then try to counter with the 1-2s. In this fight, it's going to be interesting because he's going to be at a reach disadvantage. I think that's going to make his style a lot more ineffective. He's not very technical. He just kind of relies on speed and having long arms. So when he's fighting a long-armed guy that's fast as well, I don't know if it's going to be as effective for Ribeiro on the feet, and I think he could get hit. And as far as wrestling goes, C obviously has a really good blast double. I think he probably can take Ribeiro down at will, but he has to be careful for the Kimura and just kind of the few attacks that Ribeiro does have from bottom because he is dangerous for a bigger guy off of his back. But this is a fight for C to get back on track. I feel like on the feet he could compete here. I think that Ribeiro leaves a lot of openings, and even though C is kind of a stiff striker, when he does put his hands together, he can land, and I think that if he can get on the inside, he can even have probably equal or better box than Ribeiro. He just has to be careful on the outside with Ribeiro's speed, really. And then as far as the wrestling goes, he's going to have a major advantage. And if he doesn't get caught in anything silly on the ground, he should be able to dominate on top or at least control pretty easily. So give me Umar Sy to get the victory in that match. And moving along here, we got William Gomes. He's going to be taking on Robert Ruchula in this next one. And I think Gomes, this is his fight to lose all day. They're kind of similar, these two. Ruchula making his UFC debut, but he is a former KSW guy. He's had some really high-profile fights. He's very experienced. And he likes to bounce in and out on the feet. He likes to use long strikes. He'll try to lean back and then pull counter with straight punches. His grappling is good and his wrestling is good. If he gets on top, he has really nice elbows. His grappling is good, but his wrestling isn't the greatest. He does have good elbows when he gets to the top, but he doesn't really push the wrestler to try to get on top. Gomes, I think, is going to be able to keep it standing. And I think with his length and speed, him throwing straight punches down the middle, it's going to be hard for Ruchula to work that lean back style. I think he's going to get hit quite often. And William Gomes is going to be able to land a lot more. I think Gomes is going to be the cleaner, faster guy. I think he's going to be winning the majority of the exchanges. And I think Ruchala, just his defensive issues are going to make him vulnerable here and hit a lot. I don't know if he's going to get finished because Gomes just isn't usually that type of guy. But I do think that Gomes can get back on track, kind of just pull Ruchala into some power shots, sit down, get in some exchanges, get the better of them, and just win in the eyes of the judges, especially at home. So give me William Gomes to get this victory in this fight. And this next fight we got on the card, awesome fight. We got Patricio Pitbull. He's taking on Losin Kita. And, man, amazing fight. Losin Kita is a guy that is probably one of the best featherweights that's not in the UFC, if not the best featherweight. Now he's signed and in the promotion. He has had some really big wins recently. He's been fighting in Octagon, which is arguably the best promotion in Europe. He's one of them for sure. He won the Tip Sport tournament where he won, I believe, like $350,000 to win that tournament. He's had more wins in Octagon as the champion. So he's probably gotten close to making $1 million fighting before he even made it to the UFC. Has belts in his house. I mean, this guy has the confidence. He has the money to put a good training camp together. And he's going to be in here ready to go, taking on Patricio Pitbull. The guy just got his first UFC win. He's fighting anyone and everyone. I mean, very active. This is his third fight of 2025 already. So I hope UFC fans start to give Patricio some credit here now that he did beat Dan Ige. And now he's taking another fight with a young gun. And I think he deserves some praise here. But, yeah, man, Losin Kita is the favorite. And I do think it's a very competitive fight. If this was Pitbull of a few years ago, probably Pitbull, I think he would win this fight. But at this point, I think Kita is the rightful favorite. You look at it style-wise, it's the type of fight that Pitbull likes because Kita is someone that wants to wane into the fire. He's extremely fast, he's long, and he wants to pressure you. He wants to use his feints, use his jab, pick and pull you, and just stay in the pocket and win the exchanges with his speed. He wants to be able to throw nice straight punches down the middle. He does a good job ripping the body with the left hook and then coming up to the head with it. He is very evasive in the pocket, and he could just slide right out of the way of punches, come back with his own, and he has pretty major power. So if he could hit you clean, if he can win a couple exchanges with you, he can knock you out. But we have seen him get dropped as well, and that's where Patricio Pitbull is really good. He's good at moving around laterally, lowering you, and then exploding in and touching your chin. He has good calf kicks as well, which can maybe slow Kita down a little bit. And Pitbull's going to be trying to pull Kita into the power, explode on him. But Kita's going to be trying to pressure him. He's going to be trying to line him up and sharpshoot him as Patricio blitzes. So it's going to be a fight where I don't know who's going to back up first. Both guys are going to be there ready to exchange in the center, and I think someone's going to get sparked. Kita has really good takedown defense, and if he does get taken out, he can jump back up pretty effectively. So I think Pitbull is going to have to strike here. He could maybe get a couple of takedowns, but I don't think he's going to hold down Kita or do anything really with the grappling. And Kita has been dropped in a couple of fights and rocked, but if we're going to have a chin versus chin battle, I think that Pitbull is going to lose that. He's getting older. His chin is deteriorating a little bit. He's been hurt in recent fights. He's gotten knocked out in fights before he got to the UFC. And I just think it's Kita's time, and Kita's probably going to find that kill shot and knock out Pitbull. So give me Lusa and Kita's second round knockout in that fight. And next fighting on the card, we got Axel Sola. He's taking on Reese McKee. And Axel Sola, UFC debut for him, but he's extremely experienced. He had a very long amateur career, had a good career as a pro as well, where he won the Aries FC title recently, and he's fought a lot of pretty high-level opponents. And then his opponent, Reese McKee, he is someone that started off 0-3 in the UFC, but finally broke through, got a win in his last fight, and is very experienced as a former Cage Warriors world champion. Tall, long, lanky guy that, showed really good striking his last fight. So this is a good matchup. I mean, Axel Sola, he's someone that has decent stand-up. He kind of just tries to be evasive, use his speed, touch you up a little bit, and then he mixes in the takedowns, and he has good wrestling. He's good at kind of mixing it up. In this fight, he has to wrestle on the feet. I think Reese McKee just hits harder, is a little bit cleaner and meaner. He's going to be pressuring and being able to mix in those elbows, those front kicks up the middle. I just think he's going to be a little more active and a little bit more aggressive than Sola is on the feet. Sola could land some big shots, but we all know how durable Reese McKee is. But the key for Axel Sola is mixing in the takedowns. If he can hit the takedowns, control on top, he's probably going to be able to win a decision here. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. I just think Sola is the more well-rounded guy. But UFC debut, taking on an experienced fighter that's going to push you, it's probably a dog or pass, but I got to go with Axel Sola in that matchup personally. Next fight we got on the card, we got Mason Jones, and he's going to be fighting Balaji Oki in a really good matchup between two prospects. Originally, I was kind of leaning towards Mason Jones pretty heavily in the fight. I was thinking, Oki, his chin could be a little suspect. I feel like maybe Mason Jones could overwhelm him and take him down, but the more I looked into it, I feel like Oki, I was kind of overselling his chin issues, and I think that he has the speed and volume advantage. Not volume, but speed, and he can kind of lower the volume of Mason Jones and match it or get close to matching it because of his speed and power advantage. I think that he's going to be able to probably keep the fight standing as well or bounce back up to his feet. If Mason Jones wins, I think it's going to be because he is able to rock Oki a few times or maybe be able to out-grapple him. But I think Oki on the feet could probably use the straight punches, use the footwork, pull Mason Jones into punches, win the exchanges, make it a dog fight if he has to. I think that Oki could bite down and do that as well. And I just think he's a little bit more skilled. So I'm going to go with Oki for the slight upset in that fight. And next fight we got on the card, Modestas Bukauskas taking on Paul Craig. And Paul Craig, he was supposed to fight a few weeks ago or maybe even a little longer than that, but his opponent, Rodolfo Bellato, didn't end up making it to the fight. I actually was going to pick Paul Craig in that one. Now he's taking on Modestas Bukauskas, and Bukauskas is on a nice little win streak. He has confidence after he teamed up with Tom Aspinall on his fight camp. And, yeah, man, good fight in the light heavyweight division. Paul Craig, he's moving back up to light heavyweight after a kind of a bust at middleweight. Light heavyweight was definitely the division where he did a lot better at, and now he's back. And Bukauskas is on a 5-fight win streak, so if he wins this one, he's going to be undeniable for a ranked opponent next. And for Paul Craig, he's a big name. If he wins, a couple of fights, he could, be in a top 10 matchup again. But Paul Craig's probably just trying to get the paychecks now at this point. And, it's a pretty binary fight. On the feet, I do think that Modestas has a pretty big advantage. Bukauskas, he's not anything special on the feet. I think that Paul Craig can kind of hang with him, and I think he's not going to get knocked out or anything. Paul Craig has had some knockout losses, but you look at those guys, they're super explosive, like Khalil Roundtree, Metafield, they caught him early, but he's got 3 rounds with guys like Volkan. He went a good amount of time with other top fighters, so I feel like Bukauskas is going to be able to beat him on the feet, but he's probably not going to dominate him on the feet. It's going to be just him winning the minutes type of scenario. I don't know if Paul Craig's going to be able to bait him to the ground. I think Bukauskas is a smart guy with a good head on his shoulders, good fight team behind him. His fight IQ is good. He's not someone that could Paul Craig kind of just lull it to a mistake type of thing, I don't think. So I got Modestas Bukauskas winning that fight via decision. And co-main event, we got Mauricio Hufi. He's going to be taking on Benoit Saint Denis in this one. And seeing a lot of love for Benoit Saint Denis this week. I think a lot of people are on him. He's a very popular underdog. And I get it because I do think that Huffy is overrated, I think that he's very flashy and he's very fun to watch, but we still don't know a lot about him. Like, he throws a lot of singular strikes. I think if you could pressure him, stay in his chest, clinch him a lot, push him against the fence, you could maybe force him to do a mistake. So we've seen him knocked out before. I think his chin is a little bit suspect. Both these guys have kind of suspect chins, but Ufi's striking at range is incredible. The guy has every trick in the book. He's super crafty, southpaw. He's pulling you into straights. He's pulling you into spinning kicks, flying knees. He has about every strike in the book that he could throw at you. Very good footwork. He's angling off. He's doing a great job of kind of just pulling guys into crazy techniques. And Benoit Saint Denis, though, this guy's just someone that closes the distance. He's a French warrior. He was in the armed forces over there for France. He wants to use his big kicks. He has good kicks from that southpaw stance. And then he'll pressure in with nice punches, push you against the fence, try to get to your back or drag you to the mat. Then when he gets on top, he's one of the better guys in the division there. Good ground and pound, good control. He can tire you out and then submit you. So the game plan for both guys is pretty simple. Huffy's going to be trying to move around. He's going to be trying to make Benoit pay when he does close the distance. Elbow him, knee him, and then get back to range. And then when they're at distance, he's going to be looking to snipe him, find that kill shot eventually, pull him into something crazy, maybe knock him out. And for Benoit Saint Denis, he's going to be looking to close the gap. He's going to be looking to take away the space from Hoofy. He's going to be trying to put him on his back and rough him up, maybe find that submission. So whoever can implement their will in the fight is going to get the job done. It's just going to be if Benoit Saint Denis can close that space effectively without getting hit with anything crazy, and if Hoofy slows down, because if he slows down and Benoit's still in there, we know Benoit will push to try to get the finish. So it's an intriguing fight, but man, I can't get on the Benoit bandwagon, man. I have been good at picking against Benoit. Like I picked Dustin Poirier, picked Moicano when he was a big underdog, or when they were big underdogs against Benoit Saint Denis. Now Benoit's the underdog against Hoofy, and people are going back on Benoit, but I just feel like he's too open. He's too hittable. I think that he's going to run into something, man, and get rocked. And even if he doesn't get knocked out, I just think that Hoofy can hurt him and have the more impactful moments. If Benoit wins, I think he's kind of finisher bust. So I got Hoofy, and I'm going to say he actually wins via knockout. And main event time, we got Nasruddin Imavov. He's going to take it on Kyle Borralho in the main event. This is a great fight. Two guys that are on long win streaks. The winner of this fight definitely deserves the title shot. And, yeah, man, Imavov, another main event at home. This time he's taking on someone on a 9-fight win streak in the UFC and like a 16-fight win streak in MMA, and Kyle Borralho. And Borralho, he hasn't fought in a while, so that's why, a lot of fans are kind of down on him. But if he wins this fight, he's going to be the next guy in line. And for Imavov, coming off a win over Adesanya, he's been very active recently, and he's definitely proven that he should be next in line with the victory. And you look at it from a stylistic perspective, I don't really get why Imavov is the dog in this fight. If you guys are in the comments and you want to give me a passion reason for Borralho being the favorite, let me know. But I just feel like Imavov on the feet, he's the better striker. I mean, these guys have similar striking styles. I think Kyle's a lot more kick heavy, but they both like to stay light on their feet, kind of bounce around and time you from the outside. But I just think Imavov's boxing and sharpness is a lot better. I think he's going to be able to connect on the feet with longer combinations and back up Kyle and be just a more aggressive, meaner, more powerful striker, especially at boxing range. I don't think that Kyle's going to be able to win with kicks alone. And then you look at Kyle's wrestling, I think he has a really good blast double, but he hasn't gotten a takedown in his last 3 fights. And you look at him when he's fighting guys with better takedown defense, he doesn't get takedowns very often. So I think that Imavov has good takedown defense himself as well. Great distance control. Maybe he'll get taken out once, but I think he'll be able to keep it standing for the most part. And I just think he's going to be the more active guy. He throws more strikes per minute. I think that he's going to be able to land the heavier shots. I think that he'll win the majority of the exchanges. I like the way that he punched through and landed on Adesanya. I think that he could do that against Kyle, another guy that holds his hands low. And I mean, Kyle's going to be trying to use his kicks, I think, to chop him down and then maybe start to mix in the takedowns later in the fight when he thinks Nasruddin is going to fade a little bit, because we've seen Nasruddin get tired. But I think Imavov, he knows that the only thing that's really holding him back from being a top flight level fighter at this point is his conditioning. And he's been active. I think that he has that 5-round experience now, a lot more in his back pocket, and I think that's going to only start benefiting him in these fights. So I think Imavov is going to win this match. I think he's going to win it pretty dominantly. Give me Imavov to win in the main event 49-46, maybe even 50-45. I got to go with Imavov there in the main event. So there you have it, guys. That's a full card breakdown of predictions for UFC Paris. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. As far as my most confident pick on this card, I guess I will go with Sam Hughes as the most confident pick. For the play of the week, I'm going to do a play of the week of the fight does not go to decision in the Patricio Pitbull and Lucien Kita fight. That is a plus money play, so go bet that, and I think you'll be able to cash out there. So thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button, like I said at the beginning of the video. Comment down below, and I'll be back soon doing another breakdown prediction video, so stay tuned to the channel, and talk to you guys later.